My name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hello everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. We have an event coming up for some friends, an appreciation supper, and so I told her I would make pies and cakes for that. And that's tomorrow, so I needed to get a head start on some of the things since I have about 13 or 14 pies to make and about 5 or 6 cakes. So anyway, I'm going to show you a recipe for some Mississippi mud pie, and I'll be making some coconut cream pies, cherry and apple, lemon, what else? There was something else. Anyway, I've got a whole bunch planned. Apple, I don't know if I said that. And so anyway, this is for the Mississippi mud pie. And I started by taking about 32 Oreos and I crushed those up and melted 6 tablespoons of butter. And this is going to be our crust. And normally I would make this in a regular cake pan, but since I'm taking it away from home and I don't want to worry about getting my pan back, I'm going to do it in a foil pan. So I'm going to mix that up. All those cookies nice and buttery. And I've got all my other ingredients out. I like to be mise en place if I can be, which means basically just everything in its place, everything out and ready to go, measured. And this actually has 3 layers, so it's kind of time consuming. That's why I wanted to do it tonight. So I'm going to put those in my pan. And then I want to go ahead and make sure they're up the sides and covering the bottom. And then I'm going to put this in the freezer for about 15 minutes. So then I will come back and show you the brownie layer that's going to go on this. Well, our crust is in the freezer. We're going to go ahead and make up the brownie layer. And you want to preheat your oven to 350. We're going to chop up or coarsely chop, and I've done this ahead of time, a 70% cocoa bar. And I like to buy the lint just because I like the quality. And you're going to put that with some butter, about half a cup of butter, and you're going to melt that in the microwave at small increments because you don't want to overdo it. And then you're going to set that aside. Then I'm going to take 3 eggs that I have at room temperature and put those in my bowl. Some cookie on me. And I'm going to go ahead and whisk the eggs with 2/3 cup of sugar, and I want to whisk this for about 2 minutes to get as much air in it as I can. So I will whisk for 2 minutes and then I'll come back. Now that my arm's almost worn out from whisking, we're ready to go ahead and add the other ingredients. I took a half a cup of pecans, chopped those up and toasted those lightly. They're going to go in. And then I have some espresso powder. I took 1 tablespoon of espresso powder, and I'm going to put that in, and a teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/4 cup of cocoa. And the higher quality cocoa you use, the better. I like the Ghirardelli. And then I have my flour, and I have 1/4 cup of flour. So I'm going to whisk this together before I add that chocolate mixture that we melted. And then this will make our brownie layer that we're going to put into that cool pie shell that we just made. And we're going to put this in our 350-degree oven and bake it for 25 minutes. Go ahead and add chocolate and butter. So if you're going to take this somewhere, you're going to have to warn everybody that it's got crumbs in it. But I suppose you could omit it, but it wouldn't be the same recipe, obviously. So we're going to bake this for our 25 minutes, but then we want it to cool 2 hours before we add our pudding layer. And I've got those ingredients out, but we're going to have to cook that pudding. So, okay, get that in our pie shell. Our Oreo crust is out of the freezer, so we can go ahead and put in our brownie layer. And again, we're going to bake this at 350 for 25 minutes and then let it cool 2 hours before we add the next layer. Our brownie layer has cooled for a few hours, so now we're ready to go ahead and make the pudding layer. So in my saucepan, I want to put 3/4 cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and there's a teaspoon of salt in there. Actually, 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to whisk that together. Then I have 1.5 cups of milk that I want to add in, and 2 egg yolks. And I want to whisk this and bring it up to a boil, and it will thicken. But it takes a couple of minutes, actually 3 or 4 minutes. So I will come back once it's thickened up. As you can see, our pudding layer has thickened. And you want to whisk that the entire time. And then to that, we're going to add another one of the 70% cocoa chocolate bars that we've chopped up. A teaspoon of vanilla and 2 tablespoons of butter. We want to whisk all that in until the chocolate melts, and then this is ready to put over our brownie layer, and we'll let this cool for about 20 minutes before we put it in the refrigerator. And we're going to put ours in overnight, but you want to make sure that you put it in for at least 4 hours, and then you can top this with Cool Whip. Mix in, we'll go ahead and put this on top, let it cool, put it in the fridge overnight, and then put the Cool Whip on. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.